All right, so boys and girls, today in English, we talked about adding IED, ED, and D to verbs to make them past tense, correct? And remember, we drop the Y and add IED if it has a consonant. Remember what a vowel is? A vowel is A, E, I, O, or U, and sometimes Y. But usually it's not Y, but sometimes Y can act as a vowel, and it can act as a consonant. And the consonants are all the other letters. So if you have A, E, I, O, or U, then all those other letters are called consonants. So if you have a word like carry, then you're going to drop your Y because there's a consonant before the Y. You're going to drop your Y and add IED to make it a past tense, carried. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to run a quick PowerPoint through and share my screen so that you can see what I'm talking about when we are adding those different, we're using the different rules for adding endings to make verbs past tense. And this works also with words that are like plural verbs, but this is something that we can talk about later, okay? So we're gonna walk through this. Also today we worked on workbook page 51, the top portion about this subject in our class here online. And then for homework, I'm going to have you work from the PowerPoint. You can just write your answers in your notebook, okay? And you can take a picture and send that to me. Or you can, I can try to put it in Google Classroom as a form, and you can write directly on that. All right, so I will have both media available if whatever is easiest for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and present my screen and do this screen here. Okay, and so as you can see, this is me and this is my screen. I'm going to go up here, oops, and go to this PowerPoint. Oops, I need to open. I'll open. Verb endings. Okay, so we talked about this PowerPoint, as you can see, and this is verb endings adding ed at the end, es, ies, or ied. And the same rule applies. It just depends on the tense of the verb. So if we're talking about past tense, you're going to add the d portions. Okay, if we're talking about present tense, or you have to change the verb to make it sound better, as it might be a singular verb or singular noun, and like she carries a book, then you're going to have to change that also, that y, and add ies. So let's go ahead and go through. So we said that verbs are words that tell the action of a noun in a sentence. We've known that. We've been talking about that since the beginning of the school year. All right. Then we say that verbs can tell what happened in the past. When this happens, usually ed is added to the end of the verb. You'll drop the e and add ed, or you'll leave the e and just add d. And so that would be like if you have the word talk or the word by itself. So like talk, walk, let's see, you have the words peck. We talked about different types of things. Where if you have the word already there's no like magic e at the end, then you're going to add ed. But if there's that magic e at the end, you're going to just add the d. You don't have to write ed again. So as you can see here, if you have like the magic e, like in the word wave and rake and bake, you're adding just d because the e is already there. But if you have like camp and mix, those words are by themselves. They don't have a magic letter at the end. Then you have to add ed. Okay, so we basically said this in class, and we said, if you look at the words in each box or the sentences in each box, which one is correct? She picked up her toys, or she picked up her toys. Pick is a word by itself. So what do you think you will add? Will you add a D or an ED? He painted a rainbow, or he painted a rainbow. Again, think about the word paint. Is it by itself word, or is there a magic E at the end? And what ending do you put? And they pecked the ground, or they pecked the ground. Again, what's going to be the ending that you see at those words? So if you picked, P-I-C-K-E-D, painted, and pecked, you're right. Because these words are words by themselves, and they don't have a magic letter at the end. All right, again, we have the same type of idea. All of these words, bark, open, and crawl, are all words by themselves, so you just add the ED, okay? All right, sometimes when we didn't talk about this in class because we're talking about action verbs, and they might, like if something fixes or mixes or dresses, these are something we're going to talk about a little bit later, but again, it's in the PowerPoint. Okay. Here, this is what we kind of talked about with the IED, but it's also with Y. So if the consonant and a Y, change the Y to I and add ES or ED. Past tense ED. If you were saying, she cries so loudly that everybody can hear her, then cries would have an RY. You're going to drop the Y and add IES. Okay? All right. It's the same thing here with the ED, making a past tense. Study. She studied so hard. He tried so hard. She fried an egg and she cried because it was a storm. Okay, so you can see that again, you have that consonant letter and you're going to drop the Y and add IED. Okay? So for these, which ones would you use? He carried his books, or he carried his books? Are you going to keep the Y or add IED on all of these words? What do you think? Right. So because that letter before the Y is a consonant, you're going to drop your Y and add IED. Okay? Same with these. Satisfy, reply, and deny are all words that end with Y, and they have a consonant before them. So if you put that rule in your head, then which of these are going to work for you? Again, you're dropping your Y and adding IED. All right. So what I want you to do is you can either do the other one or you can try here. She blank at too much. She worries at too much. She worries at too much. That doesn't make any sense. She worries. Okay, skip number one because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's look at number 3. The car crashes into a tree. Is it going to be crashes or crashes or crashes? We didn't talk about that. Look at number 4. The girls jumped for a long time. What is the answer going to be? Okay, the dogs barked at night. Which one is it going to be? And number 2, they tried their best. You have a consonant and a Y, you're going to drop the Y and add IED. Okay, worries, she worries. It's supposed to be too much. I think it's a typo. Okay, and they tried, the car crashes, the girls jumped, and the dogs barked. Okay, so this was a PowerPoint that I purchased from Teachers Pay Teachers. As you can see, it's by the Thistle Girl Designs and in Marcel's Zone. I do believe it is for sale. It's not that expensive, but she did an amazing job, and I thank her for allowing me to use it for my YouTube and for my presentation. Okay, so that's the one slide that we actually didn't go through the whole thing because I know the children can't sit for very long online. Okay, so the other one that I put on our Google Classroom is kind of what I want them to do for homework. We did this one in class. This is actually from their workbook, page 51. This other portion here is in like a document format. So all they have to do is go online, and what is the word try? Trying, it would be T-R-Y-I-N-G, okay? They don't need to worry about the ing part because we haven't talked about that yet, okay? Because that's not going to change because it's a different rule. But what I want them to really focus in on is this column here, okay, on both of these, all right? So it says inflectional endings. It's pretty much the same thing. One's got a butterfly that has black and white, and the other one's a colored butterfly. They can do either sheet, okay? They don't have to do both of them. All right, so trying, this is a totally different rule that I haven't talked about yet, so I don't need to confuse them. All I want them to do is the past tense of these words, okay? Just one page, either page 2 or page 3. And then they can put this back up on in Google Classroom with their answers, okay? So this is homework. So if we have tried, we know that we have the Y and a consonant. We're going to drop the Y and add IED, T-R-I-E-D. Okay, so just this column, just the last column is what I want them to do for me, and this is the homework for today. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's it for English. I didn't want to make it too long. It's just a basic background of what we did in class. And so if you have any questions or you would like your child to spend more one-on-one time with me, I can slot out 15 minutes for each child from 1 to 2 every day. So that's one way we can do it. Or if there's a different time that I'm free during the day after 2 o'clock, if you want to sit with me one-on-one online, we could do that as well. All the teachers are home today. I think this school wants to see if it's possible that we can stay home just like the kids, because it's probably better for the community if we're allowed to do that. And then if it doesn't work as well as we need it to work, then the teachers will probably go back to school. So this is why we're home today. And I hope everybody stays safe. The numbers are growing, so we really need to be cautious and careful out there. Take extra precautions when you go outside. Make sure that you wear your mask. It's important. Try to social distance. I know family is very important in Oman, and we all want to go see our families and our grandmas and grandpas and everything else, and so I do understand. But please be careful. I want Oman and all the countries of the world to get better so that we can kind of go back to normal. So inshallah, everything will be fine, and we will see you a little bit later today for math. Okay? So take care, boys and girls, and have a great day, or have fun in Arabic. After snack time, I will see you again here for math, okay? Bye.